Okay, let's go on. Title, reading passage 2. What's the title? Delivering the goods. Right? How to deliver the goods. Like, we've got the delivery boys, delivery van, and this and that. Yasin, call him back. Someone is calling him. Okay, so delivering the goods. How to deliver the goods means how to transport goods from one area to another. You might have seen containers. Containers, they deliver the goods, sea transport, and all that. Okay, so now let's read the subtitle. We have a subtitle. Vast expansion in international trade owes much to a revolution in the business of moving freight. Freight is another word for goods, for transporting goods. We say freight charges, shipment charges. It's like carriage, yeah, exactly. So it's just like that. Moving freight. Freight means goods. Moving them from one place to another. For example, you buy something from China, then it is transported to your country. You buy something from America, and then it comes to your country. So the whole passage is about delivery of the goods. Now we go to questions. 14 to 17. Reading passage 2 has 9 paragraphs. Yeah, you know what I mean. So this is again, which paragraph contains the following information? Do you want to start from here? No. We'll do it at the end. Or in the end we'll do it. Okay? But yes, you can do one thing. If you want to read the questions, you can read the questions. Why? Because when you go to the passage, if anything hits you or anything clicks you, you can always answer that. Let's do it. Question number 14. Suggestion for improving trade in the future. And let me tell you one thing. Always remember, in IELTS reading passages, they always talk about future in last or second last paragraph. Whenever there is a point like future suggestions, future plan and all that, they say that in the last paragraph because they conclude with future. Okay, so suggestion for improving trade in the future, you might check the last paragraph, right? Question number 15. Effects of introduction of electronic delivery. Now listen, what is electronic delivery? Through internet you buy products. If you need to buy a software, now software will not come to your house. It'll be transmitted electronically. Okay, so they say effects of introduction of electronic delivery. In one paragraph, they will talk about electronic delivery. Electronic delivery means delivering softwares. Sometimes you buy music. So that is electronic delivery. Question number 16. Similar cost involved in transporting products from abroad or from a local supplier. You buy something from your own country or you buy something from America, cost will be same. So in one paragraph, they will talk about it. Just underline the word cost and underline the word local supplier means local, and transporting a product from abroad means importing the product. Question number 17. Weakening relationship between value of goods and cost of their delivery. Value of goods and cost of the delivery, the relationship is very weak. It's not that expensive things will take more money to deliver and cheap things will take less money to deliver. So this is the relationship between value of goods and the cost of their delivery. Value of good means gold is valuable, right? So value of good and cost of the delivery, the relationship is weak. In one paragraph, they will talk about that, okay? Now, we just consider all these questions in mind and we come to true, false, not given. The good news is questions and answers are in order. Okay, now, question number 18, international trade is increasing at a greater rate. Underline international trade, underline increasing, underline greater rate than world economy. Now look here, this true, false, not given question is a comparative statement. Whenever they give you a comparative statement, if the comparison is exactly same, what is comparison? International trade increasing at a greater rate than world economy. It means world economy is not increasing as much as international trade is increasing. If this is the fact, answer is true. If world economy is increasing at a greater rate than international trade, answer is false. And if they talk about international trade separately and world economy separately, they don't give any comparison, answer is not given. Whenever they use the word than, 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 it means comparative structure. So if comparison is same, answer is true. If comparison is given its opposite, answer is false. And if there is no comparison, then answer is not given. Now look for international trade, world economy. Go back to first paragraph. International trade, world economy. A paragraph. And I told you questions and answers are in order. So clue word is international trade and world economy. Now everyone please follow me. Paragraph A. International trade is growing at a startling pace. Startling pace means really fast. While the global economy has been expanding at a bit over 3% a year. So global economy is 3% a year and international trade is startling pace. Come back to question. International trade is increasing at a greater rate. And what is the word for greater rate? Startling pace. Answer is, thank you. Yeah, it's true. And why? I mean, just see, greater rate than the world economy. And what is the word for world economy? Yeah, they mentioned here. While the global economy, world economy means global economy has been expanding at a bit over 3%. So that is 3%. International trade is startling pace. It means answer is true. नहीं समझ आया तो इसको दोबारा पढ़िएगा. चलें शुक्र है. कुछ आंसर्स घर जाके भी समझ आएंगे. Question number 19. Cheap labor guarantees, underline cheap labor, that's the subject. Cheap labor guarantees effective trade conditions. Now listen, if cheap labor guarantees effective trade conditions, answer is true. If regardless of cheap labor, it is not sure that trade conditions are going to be effective, then answer is false. And if they don't tell us whether cheap labor guarantees effective trade conditions or not, then it is not given. Now trade conditions, guarantees and cheap labor. Go back, look for cheap labor, cheap labor, cheap labor. Well done. Exactly, paragraph B, third last line. So this is what we call location, right? And you will reach the location through clue words. Clue words will take you there. Cheap labor may make Chinese clothing competitive in America, but if delays in shipment tie up working capital and cause winter coats to arrive in spring, trade may lose its advantages. Now go back. They say cheap labor guarantees, they say no. Yeah, cheap labor may make Chinese clothing competitive in America, but if delays shipment tie up working capital and cause winter coats to arrive in spring, trade may lose its advantages. So trade conditions, effective trade conditions, they say trade may lose its advantages means trade conditions will not be effective. Answer is false. Just underline the location, read it again, read the passage, sentence again, and the question again. Okay, Japan imports more meat, underline more meat and steel than France. Now again, this is comparative. And listen carefully. The clue word is Japan, France, and context is meat. Now if you find Japan and France without meat, that's the wrong place you are reading, okay? So what do you have to find? If Japan imports more meat and steel than France, for example, if they say Japan imports 90% meat and steel and France only 10%, then answer is true. If France imports more meat and steel than Japan, then answer is false. And if they tell us only Japan imports meat and steel and France also, but they don't tell us the value, more or less, then answer is not given. And this is also a comparative sentence. Now let's go back and we look for Japan. Paragraph C and third line. Please follow me. Paragraph C, third line. Okay, Japan. Yeah, I'm reading it from the beginning. At the turn, Paragraph C from the beginning. At the turn of 20th century, agriculture and manufacturing were the two most important sectors almost everywhere, accounting for about 70% of total output in Germany, Italy, and France, and 40 to 50% in America. Britain and Japan, okay, international commerce was therefore dominated by raw materials such as wheat, wood, and iron ore, or processed commodities such as meat. Not given. Absolutely not given, because more or less is not mentioned at all. The comparison is not given. They have talked about these commodities separately, but they have not mentioned who imports more steel and meat than the other. So there is no comparison. That's why answer is not given. Yeah, but that's not related to Japan, and that's not related to meat and steel. Okay? Yeah. All right, let's go on. Question number 21. Most countries continue to prefer to trade with nearby nations. Now, nearby nations, nearby countries, neighboring countries, and all borders and all that. So let's go on. Paragraph D for doctor. Countries still trade disproportionately with their geographic neighbors. Only this sentence. Countries still trade disproportionately with their geographic neighbors. Now what's the question? Most countries continue. For most countries, they use the word countries. Countries still. Countries still means most countries prefer to trade with their nearby neighbors. And what is the word for nearby neighbors? Geographic neighbors. Answer is true. Come on. All right, let's read it again. Come back. Okay, most countries continue to prefer to trade with nearby nations. Come back. Countries still trade disproportionately with their geographic neighbors. All right, let's read on. Over time, however, world output has shifted into goods. No, there isn't anything about that. It's just the same. Countries still trade. I mean, listen, there should be a proportion. Now, disproportionately means there is no proportion of that, right? So, come back. Countries prefer to trade with their nearby nations. Countries still trade disproportionately with their geographic neighbors. It should be true. Okay. All right. Let's leave it for the time. We go on to question number 22. Answer is true, by the way. Most countries and continue to prefer. No, actually, we cannot interpret in our own way that now the word has changed and this said that. You know, this is factual information. So factual information does not need your own personal interpretation. Okay? All right, let's leave it for the time being. Question number 22. Small computer components are manufactured in Germany. Now let's go back to Germany. And you will see Germany at different locations. Now, listen. It's not Germany which is your clue word. The clue word is small computer components. Paragraph E for elephant. Okay, let's see. Paragraph E, fourth line. Please, everyone, be there. Okay, computer manufacturers in Japan and Texas. This one will not face hugely bigger freight bill if they import drives from Singapore rather than purchasing them on the domestic market. Distance therefore poses no obstacles and all that. Most small computer components are manufactured in Germany. Yeah, exactly. So what is the word for small computer components? Drivers. They've used the word drivers and then they use the word hard disk. Yeah, disk drive. Disk drive is that hard disk. Is it? Yeah. So disk drive is small computer component and the word Germany is not mentioned in that context. That is why answer is not given.